Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. Are you neurodivergent? I think a lot of INFJs are neurodivergent. Is it neuro or neuro? Either way, we are cut from a different cloth. I honestly think that we're sort of appropriating the term neurodivergent. I think it actually means people that have like cognitive issues, and most of us don't. Most of us are able to perceive reality okay. Talk to people, move around in the world and do things. But we do come from a different place, and I think depending on what sort of INFJ you are, you might be coming from a radically different place, or you might just be coming from a slightly different place. And then, of course, with your extroverted feeling function, you can slot in and disguise yourself so that to the degree that you don't even know, you don't even know how neurodivergent you actually are. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about neurodivergence, but it's a great word, and it's one that I have certainly spotted when I was scanning the YouTube interwebs for the kinds of things that people are talking about relating to being an INFJ. But something else I want to get into, and torment. Okay, in a sense, looping. Well, we can make it the NITI loop, because when we are tormented, that is what is tormenting us, is this looping, right, between the intuition and the logical thinking child that is still a child and not always able to um, break us out of certain patterns and loops. Especially if you notice, when you are looping, it's always a loop that's between two introverted functions, and the answer is always to bring in an extroverted action of some type to break you out of it. But I did have an insight the other day as I was feeling a little bit down about I won't even get into what, and it's just a few times a year that I might feel down. Generally, I think life is a gift, and that we should always try to be appreciative of it, embrace the challenges that present themselves. But so I'm trying to get through the torment. I'm trying to get through the despair. And one thing I've noticed as I was watching my mind is that, especially, I was thinking, well, I should concentrate on the present. I should concentrate on the now. But when you try to concentrate on what is the now or the present, you just notice how things are slipping right into the past almost automatically. But you can extend that, of course. You can extend that, the horizon of the now. I suppose for someone who's enlightened, it might be nearly infinite. They're always existing. And the birds, when they're singing, they're not saying, "Oh, I just sung that note a minute ago. I don't want to sing that again." They just sing. They're always arising in the now, and they're always doing their job, which is to sing. In the case of birds, sing and eat bugs and flap around. But if you're tormented, it's because you're thinking about your failures from the past, or you're projecting into the future, probably more failure or something. Uh, and it's not gonna be good. It's basically, you just keep looping, and there's no resolution. That's why it's called a loop. There's no resolution. You can't think your way out of your torment. All you can do is get up and take positive action. Now, maybe you're lucky. I was lucky enough that I've got my wife and stuff, and she cares about me, and she can see I'm tormented. She'd say, we can just talk about it. And then in the process of talking about it, then I can see how silly it is that I'm tormented, since I actually have a wonderful life here on this island in my temple. Yeah. It isn't easy being a dragon sometimes, though. You got to take the slings and arrows of venomous fate, right? The now, though, is the only space. It's the only place that the universe can actually communicate with you. It's the only place where, and I'm not, I can't really define what God is or the universe is or what anything even essentially larger than myself is, because it's larger. But I do definitely entertain a belief, and more it's a feeling that there is a guiding presence that does care about your life. Um, and it's always trying to help you out, and it's trying to guide you. And of course, it probably has some sort of a plan, and you're a part of it. And if you want to be a happy dragon, you're going to want to make sure that your plan is slotting in with the plan of the universe. But here's the thing: the now is the only time that the universe can even communicate with you. It's the only time that it could ever, because that's the only time it exists in. It doesn't exist in the past or the future, because those are basically just relics. Those aren't. What makes the now is that consciousness is inhabiting it in the moment, right, in the present. And this is the place where you can receive guidance. This is the place where you can um, feel okay, because the honest truth of the matter is, if you're coming from a place of neurodivergent torment, um, you're probably stuck in the past, or you're projecting in the future. And that is also really, a lot of, the word ego, we don't have a better word, but we just use the word ego for that smaller self, the identified self, the self that's fearful, right? That's always trying to protect you, look out for you, make sure that more good stuff is coming down the pike, you know. And the how can you tell whether you are in an egoic sort of state or not? Well, uh, definitely, if you are focusing on what's going on in the present moment, it tends to be far less egoic. And a lot of times that might be while you're creating art or music or whatever craft you're engaging with, whether it's writing or just talking or who knows what. It happens in the present moment. And yeah, the ego and the universe, I honestly believe if the ego has a purpose, and it is to look out for you, it is to make sure that your nest will be feathered to the degree that you can have some comfort and happiness. The problem is it likes to take on a lot of responsibilities it's not qualified to deal with. And this is where you get on a shaky ground, and this is where things start falling apart. And the other day, I was sitting there, and I was looping, and I couldn't really break out of it. I was getting a bit depressed. Now, the thing is with me is that I did experience fairly extreme amounts of depression when I was a teen, but I was able to get out of it. And one of the things I realized when I was a very young dragon was that when I was depressed, because I was thinking about a bunch of dumb stuff, I was just entertaining a bunch of dumb ideas. Maybe they were right, maybe they were wrong, but you do have a choice what you can think about. So if what you're thinking about is bringing you down, don't think about it. And this was another insight I had the other day, and that is, I don't know how helpful this is to you, INFJ, my fellow visionaries, but thoughts and words are essentially the same thing. And the thoughts and the words actually tend to push us into the future or pull us into the past. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem that I can go quite long without having a word or a thought pop into my mind. But I have noticed that the spaces in between those thoughts and words tend to be the restful place where the universe can talk to you. Anyway, that's it for today, INFJ. Until I come back, keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping keeping on.